Okay, and let me share my screen with you and we'll jump right in. All right, here we go. So today, let's talk about some really easy tips and ideas on how you can update your home on the budget. And as you can see, you can really make quite an impact with some really powerful, inexpensive ways. And that's what we're going to jump in today. I know that a bunch of you have sent in questions, so I'll make sure that I cover those questions. And if I don't, we will definitely talk about it as soon as we're done. My name is Olga St Pierre. Thank you so much for joining me. I am a real estate agent by trade. However, a lot of work that I do before it comes to real estate is with the advice and the decluttering and education. And this is why we are here. I do get some questions quite often on how can we spruce up our home, whether we're staying or maybe we're moving. So this information has come from the experience of us working with our clients. So we hope that you're going to enjoy it today. Just a little bit about us. We have been helping clients move across the United States and Canada for the last 15 years. And our team mission is truly to help anyone with a desire and a plan to become a homeowner. And once you do, then we are right there alongside you, helping you move through your life journey and help you maintain your biggest investment, which is your home, help you take care of it, and just being a sustainable and responsible homeowner. We do offer a complete move solution because, as you can imagine, making a move is very, very challenging. We try to make it as simple and less taxing as possible. And part of that is also our concierge service. So think of us as your virtual yellow pages. We would prefer for you to get in touch with us if you're looking for some help, assistance, muscle professionals. So A to Z is we're here for you, and this is absolutely free of charge to you. And if we are not able to help you, we're definitely going to point you in the right direction so that way you get the information that you seek. So let's jump in and talk about some of the things that you can actually do right over the weekend. Simple things that are going to give you the most impact and give you the most return on the money that you invest, right? We're not talking about spending money when we're talking about renovations and updates to our home. It is truly investing in our home and making it better in many ways. So one of the first things that I always jump into is painting. And what I love about this versatile product is the fact that you can paint with today's technology just about anything. The technology has gotten so advanced. If you visit suggestions online, if you head over to home improvement store, you will see that there's paint products that are available for anything from typical things like wood all the way up to plastic and like other weird things, but there's a paint for that as well. So what we always talk about are the things that are going to appeal for the majority of the home. And then we talk about how we can make and create accent in colors, because maybe you want that pop to help you with your mood or to create a really inviting space in your home. So majority of the time we talk about three different paint colors families. We're talking about neutrals, whites, beiges, and grays. And I can tell you that for as long as I've been doing this workshop and talking about a lot of these renovations, and I do update it on a regular basis, some of these timeless colors have stayed in the top of the list for many designers, for many of the big companies in the industry that use these colors, as well as for new home builders, because they're always staying on top of trends. So here are some suggestions for you for neutral colors from Benjamin Moore family. So a lot of the painters, if you ask them, who do you usually use for quality paint? They'll tell you most likely it's going to be Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore. And I understand if you're trying to do this on the budget, totally understandable. You can take any of these colors to your local hardware store and they will be able to match it for you, again, with the beauty of technology today. So as you can see, we actually took some of the pictures and the actual colors and showed you some of the exact how this paint color is going to look in your room. And the one tip that I have for you is that lighter colors will brighten a room and make it feel larger. So it's really one of the most inexpensive ways for you to spruce up and to bring life back to a space that maybe you're thinking about. Next up, let's talk about some of the colors of the year. So every year, all of the companies come out with a color that they say this is our color of the year. And it's funny to look at it. I always look forward to it because I can never tell or predict what those colors are going to be, because they are honestly all over the place. You can see some of the color trend palettes that different companies come out, and you can see some different colors. So 2024, for example, Blue Nova 825 is one color of the year. Sherwin-Williams has different colors truly that are coming out as well. And as you can see, so this is the color. So it's like bluish, kind of pastel-ish, right? And then they give you examples on what you can do with that color and what you can pair it with. And you know what? Every eye is different. So if you like that color, great. And if you don't like with the pairings, or maybe you want to create an accent wall, this is how I would use the suggestions that different companies have. This is actually a very nice neutral color. You can actually use it as an accent wall as well, or you can paint cabinets with it, which we'll talk in just a little bit. So there is truly never a bad time to paint and refresh. So some quick suggestions here for you, because there are different types of paint, and you really definitely want to pay attention to the type of paint that you get depending on the project that you want to work on. So number one, if you have a lot of imperfections in your walls, you want to get the paint that you want to use is flat, because it's a non-reflective finish and it's going to conceal those surface imperfections. If you're looking for something that is in high traffic areas and you really want to be able to use a magic eraser, which is one of my favorite tools for cleaning walls, then you definitely want to go with something like eggshell or satin. If you are going to be painting trim or doors, things like that, you definitely want to go with semi-gloss or gloss finish. So here's some suggestions here for you to kind of use as a reference and a guide. My other favorite thing that I want people to remember is that when you paint your room, don't forget to mark what kind of paint it was, what was the color, and when you painted it. And the best way to do it is on the back of a light cover switch. I think this is a genius idea that I found a couple years ago. Instead of keeping the huge containers of cans of paint in your garage, in your shed, in your laundry, because after 6 months, that paint, because it's already been open, is going to go bad. So there's no point of keeping it. My suggestion to you is dispose of it, but then have the information, the most important information on the back of your switch of what is the brand, what kind of paint is it, what is the color, and you know what, if you have a swatch or a number, that's even more helpful. And if you use that paint in any other room of your house, write it down as well, okay? I love this idea, and I have a lot of clients that started using it because they thought it was genius. And again, it's going to save you time and frustration down the road if you do want to repaint it again. So let's jump into actually talking about some really cool projects that you can accomplish over the weekend. One of my favorite ones to do is to repaint your front door. Absolutely. Before you replace anything, I always recommend let's start with paint, because worst case scenario, if it doesn't look good, you can always replace it as your end result. With a front door, I think that it's even more impactful for you to do so, and I'm encouraging you to be more creative. I know most of the time we see white and black is more strategic right now with the trends than white, because it really gives you that classic pop of color. However, I do invite you to look at true colors. I've seen so many of them. I love how they look. The purple one that you see in the corner right here is a door of one of my clients who loves purple. And she asked me, Olga, do you think it's going to really look too much if I paint my door purple? And I said, Stephanie, go for it. Whatever you want, it is your home. It's going to make you happy every time you pull up to it. So why not? And that's exactly what she did. So I encourage you to express your style with a color on the door. You can do the same thing with lighting, hardware, and flowers. And just remember that when you're painting on the exterior, you need to use exterior weather paint as well. Next up, let's talk about stairs and spindles and other cool stuff. You can absolutely do some really cool things to spruce up your home. If your home was built in 1890s, you probably have a lot of the oak color in your home. You can absolutely paint it. You can paint it black, you can paint it white, you can paint it dark brown, like almost like a really dark chocolate color. There's tons of things that you can do. Just remember that you have to do some prep work before you paint. You're gonna have to repair any holes. You need to make sure that you fill damage with wood filler. You need to do some sanding to make sure that the paint is going to adhere. And it probably will take you 2 coats of paint to make sure that it looks good. So take a look at some options. I love the ability of what you can do, and this is something easy project to do that you can most likely do with the kids and have that as a kind of family time as well. All right, let's head into the kitchen. One of my favorite places for you to do some magic with paint. So here, one of the things that you can do, some of the easiest things you can do is if you have a valance in your kitchen still above your sink, that is definitely dating your house. I just think it's interesting that, you know, those things were, hey, they were popular and that's okay, but that time has gone. So one of the easiest things you can do is number 1, remove that valance. Number 2, you can absolutely paint your cabinets, and you do want to use a paint that is specific for kitchens and bathrooms and specific also for cabinets because it's going to be more durable. If you think about it, we're in our kitchen all the time, 3-4 times a day, sometimes more, and we're constantly opening, closing drawers. We're using our nails, and which means that our cabinets and especially the doors could take a beating. So just think about that. And my rule of thumb is very simple. If you have a small kitchen, you want to go as light as possible on the cabinets to make your room look bigger. If you have a large space, this is where you can experiment with color. And also don't forget, you don't have to have the cabinets all the same color. I've seen some really striking kitchens where the top was one color and the bottom was a different color. You can play around with it and take a look. You can also try stainless steel contact paper or some other fun prints to put on your appliances. You can use some really fun contact paper on the back of as a backsplash. Lots of different things that I found on Amazon that you could use to truly spruce up your space without spending a lot of money. My other favorite thing to do is spray paint things that are small or like light fixtures or doorknobs, as you can see here. So Rust-Oleum is one of the brands that I do recommend for different kinds of projects. You can get lost with their ideas if you ever go on like Instagram or Pinterest, so be careful. However, you can use your existing hardware and paint it of any color that you want to just spruce it up and make it modern. So some of the gold colors are coming back, some brushed nickels are coming back, so you can definitely see the difference that you can make in just a little bit of color. And here's some suggestions for you in terms of painting your cabinets. Here's some before and afters, which look pretty cool. So as you can see in the bottom left is the picture of your traditional 80s kitchen, your regular oak cabinets. So what they did is they painted them white. They also added hardware, which is another way to dress up your space without spending too much money. And they did swap out Formica countertop for a nice marble with a nice sink and a new faucet. So definitely much less expensive way for you to do a kitchen renovation for a really dramatic change. The same thing in the bathroom. Easiest swap to do is you can paint your cabinets. You can go either dark, sometimes black, or very much like a dark coffee color if your flooring is white, so you have that nice contrast, or you can just go the opposite direction and do it white. And then the same thing on the top here where you can swap out, take out the valance. And here's what they did too, is they painted the upper cabinets white, and then they wanted to go blue on the bottom, and they put nice updated hardware on those cabinets as well. So very nice. So again, just make sure that you are exploring and a specific paint for the cabinets to make sure that it's very, very durable. All right, let's talk about your bathrooms. Easy way to update the floor is with the vinyl flooring. These peel and stick tiles are popular. I've seen tons of videos with them. Easy to do. You just need a paper cutter, all right, and the smoothing tool and the pencil to measure out. That's it, which means that this is something you can accomplish in maybe one day. And Different designs. I love seeing really how creative they have gotten, but it's an easy way for you to be able to put these tiles down right on top of whatever it is that you have currently right now. And if you have some really interesting 70s tile in your bathroom, whether it's the tub or the wall, you can get them painted. And that's what's called reglazing. It's a specific type of epoxy color that you can paint your current tile in. As long as the tile itself is in good shape, this is definitely a good option. However, I can tell you that you have to be very careful about following the instructions because the epoxy paint is pretty smelly. So you have to make sure that your place is very well ventilated. But if you don't trust yourself to do this, you can hire a professional, and it's a lot less expensive than completely gutting your kitchen and putting in all brand new materials. All right, a couple of other things to kind of help you get your design juices going in the bathrooms. You can always update your vanity faucets, your lighting. You can always put a frame around the window because those little clips is the most basic way that you can attach a window. And of course it does show. And then when you're in your bathroom, just think about how you can truly utilize the space that you have. A lot of us have small spaces and not a lot of room to put different things. So we love the idea of using the door to hang your towels, have these nice floating shelves above your toilet. And again, you can use that Rust-Oleum to paint your various vanity holders, towel holders, paper towel holders as well. Okay, here's an awesome tip for you to do absolutely free, but it's going to make a huge difference in how you view your room. I don't know who taught this to all of us about framing your window with curtains. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but it's not. If you ever look at some of those designer magazines, you will always see them trying to hang things as high as possible and as wide as possible. Because when you look at something, you can see when it's so high up, it gives you visual extra room in the space that you're looking at. So I encourage you to look at some of the rooms that you have and to see perhaps that maybe this is something that you can do. So just remember, when you're adjusting the rods and you're going to go higher with some of the suggestions that I have listed here, that means that your curtains are not going to be shorter. So if you're going to be redoing this and maybe purchasing, investing in a new curtains, think about the fact that you're now going to have them get them longer because you're now hanging them higher. However, I love the idea of doing this because it really does make a difference and make your room look more spacious and larger. Here we go, more paint ideas for you. You can update your ceiling fan and some other light fixtures, whether they're inside or outside, by paint. Again, it's Rust-Oleum to the rescue. I love the metallic line. I also love the line that is 2-in-1, where you can spray paint it in all-in-one coat, and it's your primer and color in one. You can replace the light shades, and then with the ceiling fan, you can actually spray paint the base, because you know those ceiling fans are not cheap anymore to replace. You're looking at a couple $100 that are some of the more basic ones that you see in hardware stores. So you can paint the actual blades. You can definitely spray paint the hardware. You can replace the shades. You can also paint the lights outside. You can paint your registers that are for your heat and air conditioning. And of course, you can do this to your light shades as well as to the other light fixtures that you have in your home. Just something fun to try. I always suggest to people, before you buy and invest the money, try painting it first. However, what I can tell you, my experience, if you don't have a lot of patience, don't do it, because you need to shake it, you need to follow instructions, you need to let it dry. So in our household, my husband always does that because I don't have a lot of patience. But I'll tell you, he painted the exterior, our exterior outdoor furniture, and it looked brand new once he was done. Just basic black, just to clean it up and make it fresh, and it looked absolutely brand new. All right, next up, fun with frames. You can use truly a lot of things, and it's always, it just amazes me how creative people can get and what they do with different things. So I have some ideas here for you. You can create a really nice tray. You can create a picture collage, which I think is my favorite out of all, because you can do this for your favorite projects. You can do this to hang your favorite photos, pictures of your family. everyone could probably use this and you know, create it and make it their own. So I truly love this idea. So I have some, that's why I added it here, because this is something that you can definitely do in the weekend, set it up, hang it, and have it up and running and making you happy starting on a Monday. Reupholstering furniture, another one of my time-saving ideas. I've done this myself when my husband and I got together and we got someone else's hand-me-down dining room set, and the chairs, this, you know, the cushions were just, they needed a new life. So my mom and I went to Joann's, we picked up some fabric and then literally cut it in pieces and then swap them out with staplers. It's very easy to do. So you can see some really nice befores and afters. You can really dress up the furniture that maybe is important to you, that was handed down to you from family members. And then you can make it your own. You're still keeping the piece of furniture, you're just making it lovely for what makes sense and appeals to you. New carpet, new carpet. So a lot of people are still using carpet in their bedrooms. I am seeing people kind of navigating more towards some of the engineered or like pergo flooring, depending on the, you know, your age. It also depends if maybe you have some allergies or not, or maybe just regular hardwood flooring as well. However, so general rule of thumb is when you do want to invest in new carpet, my suggestion to you is go for a neutral color, and also make sure that you have a cohesive look, the same color in all rooms. I know that at some point there was a thing where you go upstairs and you will have different color carpet in every single one of your bedrooms. And I just find it so strange to look at, because it's just so, looks so weird on your eye. It just does not look good. So if you are going to be investing in this, my suggestion to you, just make it all nice and white, one color, so that way it flows from room to room. So where to buy some of these things, depending on where you are located, your local big box hardware store is the place to go for things that maybe you want to touch and look at. Floor decor here in US is great, and there are a couple of locations by me. I love them because they have a ton of different ideas in stock. You can go pick up things and compare them, and you can just grab everything right then and there. You don't have to wait for it. Wayfair.com is another great place. Just be careful, because it's also a dangerous place. A lot of the times they do offer free shipping. Lamps plus openbox.com. I found some good deals on lamps at that website, so that's why I included it. Of course, Overstock, Amazon, eBay, and then for ideas, you can head over to house with z.com, and of course on Pinterest, as you know. So those are the two places to kind of go down that rabbit hole. Just make sure that you have some ideas on what you want to do. So in terms of doing the work, I have some suggestions here for you. The best time to find a contractor to help you with your fun projects is going to be late fall and winter. Now we're heading into the spring and summer. Don't be surprised if the contractors that you really want to work with you are going to be busy, and a lot of them don't return phone calls because they're just busy. So look for recommendations, make sure that you get a few quotes. So some of the suggestions is to of course, ask for referrals from the people that you know. You can always check Nextdoor app, on your local Facebook groups, friends and family, and of course, we can give you some suggestions as well. And my suggestion, again, get at least 3 quotes. That's my rule of thumb when I'm working with my clients, or maybe I'm doing something myself. And always verify the contractor's license with the state that you live in. All the states have those websites where the licenses are housed. So make sure that you search on your state's website to make sure that your contractors are going to be licensed and insured. And don't be surprised based on the prices that you get. Things have jumped in terms of the cost of labor, as well as the cost of material in the last 2 to 3 years. So make sure that you are not surprised. And that's why you need to get a few quotes, just to get an idea if this is what the current pricing is. And then if you need to budget and kind of figure out the time frame for whatever it is that you're going to be working with. So this is what I have for you today. If you are looking for a list of contractors and companies that can help you with your projects, please let us know. If you'd like to talk to me personally, just to kind of pick my brain, I'm more than happy to do a consult over the phone, or we can do it on Zoom. I always love to kind of get an idea and then see where you're heading. And also don't forget, when you're working on your project, make sure that you take the before, during, and after photos, so that way you can truly see the difference that you're making and the progress that you're making, because sometimes it's hard to do that while you are in the middle of your project. For the schedule of all of our upcoming workshops, please head over to Live with Olga. And if you're looking for workshop ideas and all of our recordings and other helpful videos, you can head over to At Home with Olga is my YouTube channel. And if you're on social media and you want to connect with me, most of the time I am hanging out on Facebook. So I would love for you to stop by and say hello. So that's what I have to share with you today. Let me just check and see what questions everybody has.
I threw them in the chat box for you. There was just a couple.
Okay.